I'm trying to, oh, thank you. There we go. Okay, so for future ones, just put the paragraph you have at the top and the links for the guests and the copyright thing here. And then when I've edited it, I'll put up the other things. Just those things relevant to the live show. I'm trying to find it. Relationships. You resent it? Hold on. Link for guest copyright. Oh, yeah.
I'm here talking to you, not hearing nothing. Copyright, the link for the guest.
We're live, darling. I'm not muted. Testing 1, 2, 3.
in your own image, and Adam knew Eve, and Lord, they connected. They knew each other. They knew each other parts of their bodies. God, we thank you for our bodies. We thank you that we are sexual beings. We thank you that we are able to make love to the one that you have given us. Lord, as we explore each other, as we express our love for each other, by touching the body parts that we are grateful for. And God, we thank you for the female breast. Thank you for the female vagina. Thank you for the erogenous zones. We thank you for the pulses on our bodies that allow us to have pleasure. We thank you, God, for our urethra. We thank you, God, for the clitoris, that we can have sensation to satisfy the man you put into our lives. We thank you for the ovaries. Thank you for the fallopian tubes. Thank you for the outer lips of the vagina, God. Thank you for the penerium. Thank you for this our bodies to have pleasure, Jesus. We thank you, Lord, for our eyes. Thank you for our lips. Thank you for our tongue that you gave us, Father. We thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for all our female organs. We thank you, Jesus, that we can make pleasure our husbands, pleasure our wives, that you placed into our lives. We thank you for the male organs, God. We thank you for the penis, Father. We thank you, you allow a sensation. Thank you for an erection that is able to pleasure his wife, Jesus. We thank you for the scrotum. Thank you for the vas deferens. Thank you for the prostate gland. Thank you for the embryonic sac. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you for how you made us. and we bless you, Lord. When we make love, we thank you, Lord. When we make love to each other, we thank you, Lord. Just thank you for blessing our body parts, Jesus. Thank you, Lord, for giving us the feeling to love each other deep and connect to each other as often as we should. We thank you, we praise your name, we glorify you, we bless your name. We'll not be ashamed of our bodies, Lord, not be ashamed to explore each other, Lord, not be ashamed to use our tongues to explore our men's bodies. We'll not be ashamed to use what you gave us, Lord. We'll embrace every part of it, God. We thank you, we thank you, we thank you, we thank you. You said it's a good thing to give thanks. Thank you for the ability to make love to each other. We thank you, Lord. We thank you, Lord. You alone are worthy, Lord. We appreciate you and we thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Yeah, we gonna have a celebration.
Hi, this is Dale Brown from Dale Brown and Truth, and you're listening to You Me Radio. Positive entertainment 24/7.
Let's talk
relationships on You Me Radio.
So what are we talking about?
Marriage, dating, parenting, business,
and love, emotions, sex.
It's a conversation with me, Lady Misty,
and DJ KTE
on everything from hot topics to taboos.
Join us Mondays at 9 p.m. live on UME Radio.
Follow us at Let's Talk Relationship Show on Facebook or on UME Radio on Instagram. Let's talk relationships, arguments for the grown.
Get the UME Radio app to listen wherever you are. That is UME Radio.
Good night, everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk Relationships. I am your host, Lady Misty, and I'm flying solo tonight as unfortunately Keith is not with me tonight. So let's see how well I can do without him, huh? But I am not scared because I have all of you as my company. So those who are listening on Yumi Radio, welcome, welcome, welcome to all my YouTube peeps. Thank you for joining us tonight. We have a great show lined up for you tonight. Tonight we'll be talking to two incredible people. So we have Lady LB, Lakia Brandenburg, and she's a wife coach, and she'll be talking to us tonight. And later on, in Life Moments, we'll be talking to Mr. Clive White. So we have an awesome show lined up. So get a little drink, sit back, relax. Your girl, Lady Misty, got you. Tonight, we'll be talking about politics in relationships. How does that pan out? Politics and relationships. But before we go into talking, I want to thank my sponsors. Without them, we wouldn't be on air tonight. So we start off by thanking UME Digital Inc., Mindfulness in Ministry Masterclass, and you can check them out at mycoachministry.com, and you check out all their courses on Udemy. We also want to thank accessbusinessstreet.com, an empowerment tool to help business pros build around their ministry. Also, we want to thank Shop and Own. And Shop and Own is your personal online shopper and e-commerce store designer exclusively for sellers and buyers. So go check them out. Go check. They have awesome things over there. I know Shop and Own, they have some wonderful pullover shirts. We call them hoodies, and they are looking so beautiful. Go over and purchase your Yumi Radio hoodies right now. They are looking so great. You have them in our trademark colors, blue and black. When you go over there, please, please, please remember to use the discount code LTRSAVE for so many discounts that you'll get. So please check them out. So we want to say thank you to our sponsors. So once again, tonight we're talking about politics and relationships. How do that pan out in your relationships? Is everything good over there with you? Are you on the same side? Are you not on the same side? I know Jamaica just coming down off that high. We just had our elections last Thursday. And I want to say congratulations to the Jamaica Labour Party here in Jamaica. Today, our Prime Minister was sworn in for a third term. So I want to say congratulations to my Prime Minister. By the way, happy Labor Day to all my American friends. I know it's Labor Day, so I know y'all be chilling today. So happy Labor Day to you all. I know your election's coming up, and I know things are a little steamy over there, but I wish you all a safe day and the process will go through as smoothly as possible. So we're jumping right into hot topics. And to help me to talk about hot topics, because this topic is so hot, I could not do it by myself. Okay. So to help me talk about hot topics tonight, I have with me Mr. Philroy Facey. He is in the room to talk with me tonight. He is from Dr. Phil Entertainment and Marsha J. She is a CEO of Royal Event Show. She's a show sponsor and she's a host for Weekends with Marsha J. So let me tell you a little bit about this topic that we'll be discussing in Hot Topics tonight. So this topic comes from the Royal Events issue number 2.
And might I add, I was featured in that paper. So for those of you on YouTube, yeah, you're seeing me right there. And the hot topic comes from the advice column. And this column is entitled Unhappy. And this column tonight is really the backdrop of what we'll be talking about tonight as we talk about politics in our relationships. So I'm going to be reading for you what the column says. And I want you to, drop a line or two if you're on YouTube. Drop a line or two as we discuss it tonight. So this came from a woman, the wife of a pastor, and she had some questions about politics. Here goes. I have been following political rallies from my early 20s and am now 48 years old. I am now married to a pastor man who is totally against politics and have never voted. Therefore, he would never attend any politics meeting and insisted that I stop following up on these rallies. We are adults with grown children, and I personally believe that we should both be free to partake in whatever activities we have interest in, as long as it's nothing illegal. Now, my husband insisted rather that I do not attend the rally that was held on Sunday. Instead, we should both go to church, or else he was going to take action. Surprisingly, Sunday evening when I got home, as I entered our home, it was my husband that attacked me. It turned out into a physical fight. He was beating me so badly. Luckily, our neighbors intervened and ended it. He then packed my things, saying I have to make a choice between church and politics, but I am not staying under the same roof with him, indulging in politics. Since then, we have been sleeping in separate rooms and have not spoken to each other. Interesting stuff. Now, Pastor Troy, who is the uh, advisor in this column, replied, "Good day to you. First, I want you to know that I am very sorry to hear about that ordeal you had with your husband. Additionally, I want to apologize for the physical abuse. I never appreciate a man abusing a woman or vice versa. With that said, let me by God's grace respond to your question. Politics in and of itself is not bad. In fact, in a democratic situation, it's relevant because the government would have to be elected through a voting system. Therefore, it is important. However, with the kind of history politics has and what it has caused the lives of many people, persons think it's, in quotations, taboo. And especially as a Christian, it's even more ungodly. And the word ungodly there is in quotations. Continuing, I believe that a lot of people lack the knowledge or even the understanding of the purpose of a democratic society and at times undermine its importance. With that said, I believe that you and your husband should have a conversation in the presence of a third party that would facilitate this discussion. This discussion should make clear some misunderstanding with respect to his views versus yours and the history of political conferences that you see as important. Your view is correct. Both of you are adults with two different likes and dislikes. However, the Bible speaks to both of you submitting to each other. I have a few questions for you. Is a political conference so important that to you that at the expense of your marriage? Are you aware that you can exercise your political interests and preferences through other means? Finally, I don't agree with physical abuse and or anything regarding those kinds of behaviors. However, A marriage is more important to save than either of your own personal interests. With that said, move back into your marital bed and start a fresh journey on restoring your marriage. Hmm. Unhappy.
Wow.
How do we dissect this? Good night, Marsha J.
Hey, good night, and thank you so much for having me, Lady
Thank you for
Misty.
joining me tonight. Wow. What do you think before I even talk?
Wow. First, let me say, first, let me say this, that the views, even though the paper belongs to Royal Events, of which I am the CEO, the views expressed
Yes.
really are solely of the commentator or the advisor in the column.
Yes.
Now,
Right.
with that aside, I have a few concerns. I have a
Yes.
concern for the wife. I have a concern for the husband who is a minister of religion. And I also have a concern
Yes.
about the positioning of the advice. And I know we are about to really get into it and have a conversation. Let me start with the wife, because you never know who's watching or who's listening.
True.
No one should condone abuse,
No one.
no matter what grounds it is. I do believe that both parties, in terms of as a person, are very unique, very special, and they are to be cared for, especially within the context of marriage. And because this station is primarily a faith-based station, in the Word of God, it talks about a husband loving his wife as his own body, or loving his wife as Christ loved the church. Now,
Yes, ma'am.
I really think that where I do agree with the responder or the writer of the article is that they do need to get some sort of counseling. And
Right.
I also realize that I don't think it's just about the politics, because really what could have provoked him about politics so much that he hit
I
his wife
agree with you.
so much that the neighbor had to be playing referee.
That's it.
Yeah. So I do feel like there are other underlying issues that may be a problem, and it
To be
needs to
dealt with.
be sorted. And I'll start there.
Yes. All right. I want to hear from Dr. Phil. Good night, Dr. Phil. I hope he's hearing me.
Yes, I am. Good night.
Good night. Good night. Thank you
Um,
so much for joining. You're a man. I want to
sure,
hear
no
from
problem.
a man's perspective before I putting my 2 cents.
Um, I think I mean, Marsha raised some good points. Marsha raised some good
Yes.
points. Um, but I think most importantly, it there's really something else other than the politics. I think this,
Yes.
in my opinion,
That was
the
my thought
politics
exactly.
going to the meeting might just have been that feather or that straw, that the famous straw that normally sits on the camel's back. I think
Yes.
because when you really look at relationships, a lot of times the thing that they say caused the breakup is the least of all the problems. When you look at when you get to dissect the relationship and some of the things that are happening or have been happening in the
Yes.
relationship, the thing that they say is the cause for the breakup really is the most minor of them all. So I really
Right.
do believe that uh, the third party is needed so that there can be um, an opportunity to speak openly on what really is the problem, or maybe maybe the party where she where she going for is not his party. I don't.
Maybe.
Maybe she going for the wrong party.
That's all. But based on her writing, though,
But yeah.
Philroy, you know, this man is not for politics at all. I had some concerns
Mhm.
as well, the same concerns that you raised as well. Uh, Being married to a pastor minister myself, you know, being at a stage where you resort to violence, you know, that really got me. Uh,
Yeah.
with all respect to the pastor that gave the advice, I thought he took too long to address the situation. I thought that I disagreed with the last statement that he made about moving back into the marital bed, into that marital space. Uh, Abuse is not a good thing. And I don't think any of them are at the place right now where they will be comfortable in the same space. I'm concerned about her well being at this time. He could wake up in the middle of the night and just feel mad and go over to her room and kill her in her sleep. You
Mm.
know, so I agree with the third party. That's essential. But like you said, Philroy, I really agree that there is something else brewing there outside of just the politics. The politics just brought it to light. And it begs to question how we communicate in our relationships. It begs to question how we operate as persons from the clergy. It sheds a bad light. So I am concerned about her well being. And like you said, Marsha, like you said, Phil, we don't condone abuse in any way,
Any
shape,
form or
or
any way.
form.
No. And just to share with you in terms of statistics, the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence on their website says an average of 20 people per minute are physically abused by an intimate partner. So
Wow.
that's very
20
high
people.
of a figure. And what I'm thinking now is that every other person possibly that you're looking at is experiencing abuse on some level, right?
Yes.
Where I applaud this lady is the fact that she reached out for help.
Yes.
And that is why
That's
even
true.
for those of us who are in the press, those of us who are in the media, it's extremely important that how we address letters that come in, letters from the public, is very critical, because you never know if you are saving a life, or it could be too that you are contributing to the issue, you know, in a very bad way. So it's even very important. I'm also a minister of religion, and
Yes.
I am not so sure if I would have recommended that she goes back there right
Yes.
now, because she used some words that for me were more than a red flag. She said he beat me so badly,
Wow.
you know? So if anybody that's listening, things like that, if you can find somewhere safe to be while you are working through whatever it is, that is important. I have known women who have Christian husbands, quote unquote Christian husbands, and I have seen them even beat them in public.
Oh my God.
And hearing about it and actually seeing it, it's two different
It's a
feelings.
totally different
It's a
outlook in
totally,
life.
exactly, it's a totally different feeling. And the
Yeah.
worst part of it is when he cannot admit that he has a problem.
Wow.
Now, that too is something that no one should ever have to deal with,
Have to deal
I
with.
think.
Yes. I see a question here from a listener, and the question says, what happens when someone who needs help reaches out for help and the next pastor doesn't care for her well-being. He only cares about the marriage bed. That's an interesting question.
Mm. I think it goes back to again um role and responsibilities. To whom much is given, much is required. You know,
Yes.
so if you are in a place of power or a place of authority and people are open to listening to you, um, you know, aside from the fact that, okay, the person who is responding seem as if the positioning of their answer does not take into account the person's well-being, then I suggest that you may want to find someone else to give you great advice.
I think even too with the whole responsibility of being a minister of religion goes way outside of the borders of the traditional Bible. I mean, while while we while we while that's the base, that's the background, right? We have to remember people as well, and we have to remember their own feelings and how to respond to them in certain ways. And I listen to this question and I'm saying, uh are you just going to answer Bible based? I mean, how do you respond to this person? Phil, what do you think?
We're talking about responding to
To
the
the question.
listener's question a while ago.
Yes.
What, like I said, once you realize that this third party cannot is not able to, objectively look at the entire situation, then you might need to get somebody else involved.
Yes.
Because a person really cannot help you beyond their skill set or the level that they're at. And the truth is, sometimes you come across new situations and you just don't know how to handle them. So the counselor might need counsel himself or herself, because this is a new territory.
Yes.
And the the fixes that they normally use does not work for this situation, right?
Right.
And unless as an advisor, as a third party, you are able to identify this, then you are not going to be the one to fix the situation.
All right. So
And
Phil,
then,
I want to play.
can I just add
I
something
want
to
to
it?
play. Yes, go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
just to
Marsha
add
J.
something to it. One of the things that we learned about in school in psychology is combination therapy. Combination therapy pretty much has to do with, let's say you are a person of faith, and then there is the other side of it. Because what you find, unless a faith-based counselor is also trained like in psychology or cognitive, along the cognitive line and things like that, you will find that sometimes when recommendations are made, they are not quite balanced. And so it's important, because I know especially for our skin color, to say that you're going to therapy and to say that you're getting help, there is a stigma that is attached. And so we have to really realize that ultimately the aim should be to be the best version of yourself.
That's right.
And to also live a life that makes you feel happy. What does that look like? Who do I need to become in order to be this person? You know, what do I need to do? What changes do I need to make? You know, so there is a lot of assertiveness that needs to be applied along with faith, you know, and there are tons of counselors and websites out there, and you know, where people can get help. I always say, always ask for a second opinion.
Right. We are wrapping up because we are almost out of time for this segment, but I want to ask Philroy something. I'm going to play the devil's advocate. Can I say that? All right. So I know you're married, and I know you have a beautiful daughter. This was your daughter. What advice would you give to her?
Wow.
Not wanting to beat her husband to death.
No, you mean after that? After that?
After that.
um, I mean, trust me, any father would want to think like that first and foremost.
I know.
Because and I'm gonna respond with how I look at certain things and how I feel about abuse. It has zero tolerance. It has no place.
That's
I don't
right.
believe there's any reasonable reason for abuse, and
Yes.
therefore once it comes into play, whomever initiates it, I am throwing blame at your foot first and
Wow.
foremost. Yeah.
Understood.
Anybody who initiates it, I am throwing the blame at your foot fully.
Right.
It should not come from either one of us, whether the male or the female, right? And so my response may be a little bit harsh and a little bit biased, but I don't believe in it any at all. I believe that, especially if you have reached the point of marriage, you should be able to communicate with words.
That's right.
And if it is that you need the space, so that you don't reach to that level, then take the space that you need, or the little time that you need. But it should not go there. So if it was my daughter, he and I would have serious issues. Not that I am going to be a father that is jumping in their marital affairs, but
Yes.
when you get to that place as a husband, you're no longer a husband, because that is not the role of a husband. So you're no longer playing the role of a husband. So I'm going to have to treat you outside of you being a husband, because that is definitely not a husband's role. So you doing it means you have stepped outside of the boundaries of a husband, and so you're going to have to answer to me accordingly. That's how I viewed it was my daughter.
All right, spoken like a true father. I want to thank you both for joining me for Hot Topics segment. For those listening and for those on YouTube, please remember to drop a line and comment. What would you do? What advice would you give? We are going for a quick break.
Hold on, before you go for the break, Lady Misty,
Yes?
I feel like this topic is so potent that we need to give them a hotline or somewhere to call.
Oh,
so I would
yes.
say,
I do apologize. So let me give you a hotline, because there may be somebody listening right now who want to talk to somebody. And I'm going to give a number right now. And this number is the National Domestic Violence Hotline. And it is free, no fees, no judgment, just help. And the number is 1-800-799-SAFE. That's 1-800-799-SAFE. And they are available 24/7. So call them and they'll be there to assist you. You are not alone. Don't stay in it. Talk to somebody and live. We're going to go for a quick break. When we come back, we continue with Lady LB as we continue to dive into this topic, politics and relationships. We'll be right back.
Baby brother, we can do this together.
All right, let's go. Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't. Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No.
Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this.
To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Cool. Very cool.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was
the
fine.
most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan.
Welcome back. You are listening to Let's Talk Relationships on Yumi Radio. Remember, guys, please get the app. It's UMERADIO, one word. And you can get our apps on the Google Play Store or the Apple Play Store. We are going to continue in our segment Power in Relationships. And tonight we have a lovely lady that we're going to be talking to and we're going to engage tonight. And she is Lakia LB Brandenburg. I hope I got her name right. Good. She is a wife coach and she is a creator of the Marriage Success Planner. and the only online masterclass that's changing miserable married women into happy, healthy, and irresistible wives. I need to check that out. I don't know if I'm miserable, but I'm going to check that out. When she's not in class, she's on stage inspiring her female audiences to become better if they want better marriages. And this sounds like a lady I need to talk to for my brand, First Ladies Connect. All right. Good night, Lady Lakia. How are you?
Happy Monday. It's Marriage Minded Monday. How are you doing?
I am good and I love your shirt. Already we're
Thank you.
friends.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yes, we do. We
Beautiful
matter.
black girls. Yeah, we matter. We matter. Welcome to Let's Talk Relationships. It's a pleasure to have you on tonight.
Thank you,
And
Lady
tonight
Misty.
we are dealing with politics in marriage, and I know that's right up your street. So I know we're going to have
Yeah,
a beautiful conversation.
I'm
But
excited.
but first of all, I want to know, who is a wife coach? What do they do?
Yeah, well, and you know, one thing you said is I don't know if I'm miserable, but there is a difference between being a married woman and being a wife. One thing I
Yes.
realized, I've been married for almost 11 years to my boo, my bae, my baby daddy, Derek. We've been married almost 11 years, and I can tell
Right.
you through my marriage, through coaching, that there are two women who can show up in a relationship. One being a married woman who really doesn't have the power, the influence that a wife has. And you know, the Bible tells us
Ah,
that a man that finds a wife, not a girlfriend, not a married woman,
that's
not a
right.
boo thing, a man
And
that finds a
that's
wife
right.
finds a good thing and obtains favor, right? So we got to tap into that good thing. And that's exactly what I help my wives to do. I've had to learn how to tap into communication, intimacy, emotional wellness, all of those different things that we need in a healthy relationship to create a healthy relationship, not a
Yes.
perfect relationship. That's what a wife coach does. And I pretty much focus on my wives. I'm not saying that my men, my husbands, don't have any type of responsibility or I'm condoning their
Yes.
actions, but I always focus on the person that I can change. And that's always myself.
And we're about the wife life. So,
Yes, we are.
yes. Yes. So, tonight we're talking from the backdrop of politics in relationships. And I
Okay.
know you've talked to a lot of wives. Have you come across any wife facing this kind of problem? My partner, my husband is saying something different. He's from a different party. I'm from a different party, and it's creating hell in my relationship. Have you come across that?
Absolutely. Politics, not necessarily what's going on in the world, but politics in that marriage, absolutely. Whether it's from how they were raised, you know, you got to go back to really when you're getting into a relationship and two
That's
lives are
right.
becoming one. I was
Yes.
raised in Hyattsville, Maryland. You know, I was a suburban girl, two-parent household, middle-class family. My parents, you know, even though that was my first example of marriage, it wasn't the
Mhm.
best, but I actually adopted some of their ways and had to really unlearn and relearn. But then my husband, he's from Orangeburg, South Carolina. He grew up in a household full of women. He was pretty much not seeing any examples of marriage. So we both have come into this relationship with our own ideals of what marriage should be. And so that's where the politics start right there. It's just the
Yes.
differences of opinions. It's the
Yeah.
differences of how we should raise our daughters. It's the difference of how we should raise the house, you know, pretty much run the household and
That's
how we
right.
should make this marriage work for us. So absolutely, with myself, with my wives, it's just really finding out what works for you. And it's so funny that you bring that up because today is Labor Day here in the
Yes.
state, and we
Mhm.
said, one of the posts I made today was, you know, marriage is work, but are you working on your marriage or trying to make it work? So those are
Yeah.
politics within itself, like really understanding what is it that our relationship needs in order for us to be happy, to be successful, to be healthy. So those are some of the things that I've definitely noticed.
How does one go about unlearning some of the things that have been woven into us? You know, we women, we are usually in the home, we are usually learning, and we meet some of these men, marry some of these men who are learning as well,
Yeah.
and what we pick up and what we have woven into our systems and how we behave are not necessarily right things. How do we go about unlearning some of
You know
these
what?
things?
It starts with acknowledging. And one thing I tell my wives in my master class is own your ish. And ish is not cursing. That's your issues. Own your issues. What are some of the things that you know? And that takes maturity. Marriage will mature you, or it will expose the immaturity in you. And so when you really look at acknowledging and owning your stuff, like, you know what? I do have a sassy mouth. Let's start there. I do speak, my whatever I feel like speaking. And so if my husband is having an issue with that, then I have to really say, okay, well, why do I talk like that? That takes maturity, that introspect, really understanding where does this come from? And when I go back to Hyattsville, Maryland, go back to my parents, I realized that their form of communication was cussing, screaming, hollering. And so I adopted some of that. I, pretty much had that ingrained in me, and I spoke my mind whenever I felt like it. But I didn't realize that action was actually counterproductive in my relationship. So it starts with acknowledging it. And that takes you really owning, like, you know what, I do have an issue with how I talk, or I do get an attitude and I use the silent treatment. So when you can start owning, that's when you can start learning the right way or the better way of making it happen in your relationship.
Nice. I want to take this a little bit outside of the confines of marriage and talk about politics on a wider scale. I know in Jamaica, politics is a big thing, right? It's a big thing. Like, we have two major political parties here. We have the JLP and the PNP, and there are persons that say, I grew up as a JLP. Their color is green, so I'm bleeding green.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's like a whole culture. It's a like whole different, it's a whole different season over here.
Okay.
And we're just coming out of that season because we just had our elections here in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And coming from the backdrop of the hot topics we just spoke about, this husband and wife, the husband doesn't believe in politics, believe in all these rallies and all these things happening. And it led to abuse. Now, when we have partners that are saying two different things, I'm red, you're blue, how do we engage these partners in agreeing to disagree, especially in a time like this?
Yeah, that's good. And there are several couples who are doing it successfully. There are interracial couples. There are what is it? You have the different religions that come together. What is that? The what is the word, y'all? Help me out. Just different. You have the different types of relationships that come together. And here in the States, of course, you got your Democrats and your Republicans. So let's say, for example, a Democrat and a Republican were married. I think it's, first of all, realizing that y'all knew y'all were different when y'all first got married. Like in most cases, you knew that. And so really, I think we need to come from a position, and that's just with anybody in the world, come with a position of not just trying to be understood, but be understanding. Like, let me find out more about why you feel the way you feel. Because again, the way I was raised or the way I was, brought up, I have my own idea of what life is supposed to be like, or this is right, this is wrong. I mean, it could be something as simple as how you drive a car, like you're supposed to drive on the right side, going 40 miles an hour. And then my husband may be thinking he can drive far on the left in the fast lane, 40 miles an hour. It's the difference of opinion, but why do we feel this way? And then at the end of the day, where are the commonalities? Because there may be some commonalities or reasons why, okay, you know what, I understand. That's why you decide to, believe in this politician, or this, you believe that is the right way. But have you ever looked at it like this? It's just really trying to be understanding. And then at the end of the day, I'm going to respect what you believe. I want you to respect what I believe. But now let's just work together and become stronger as a couple. Let's become stronger in our beliefs and really work this thing out. But what you were sharing earlier about the abuse, the physical abuse, the verbal abuse, those things, now that's crossing the line. That's when we really have to get deep into the psyche of that person, because it can't be politics that's the issue. It can't be. There's something
It's
deeply
not about the
rooted.
politics, yes.
Yes, and that could have been a trigger. That could have been a trigger that set that person off. Now let's figure out again, where is that coming from? Like, did you have a household that was always fighting about politics? Or maybe, you know, you just feel strongly about one party versus the other, and you're trying to find a way to justify it, and you're taking it out on your wife or your spouse. So I think that's what it is. Just really coming to the table, being understanding, and not just trying to be understood.
I know you are focused on women and wives. How do you treat with the men in the relationships?
How do I
Have
treat?
any men ever reached out to you and say, yeah, how do you treat with them? As in, have they ever reached out to you and say, I need to talk to you?
Yes, interfaith. Yes, that's what it is. Interfaith. Thank you. When it comes to my husbands and my men, they adore the wife coach. One, because I'm not male bashing. They know everything I'm saying. It's like I'm hitting pain points because they're like, oh my God, where's my wife? She needs to listen, because certain things, it's like we're kind of like one and the same in a way. You know, all of us women, we're pretty much the same when it comes to what we want out of our relationships and the type of bonds we want to have, the intimacy, all of that. And so my men come to me, and I always say, whatever I tell my ladies, my men can do, because it's two people becoming one. It's two whole people, 100% coming together to create one whole relationship. And so if I'm telling my wives to tame her tongue, I'm gonna tell you to tame your tongue. If I'm telling my wives to, not use the silent treatment, I'm telling you the same thing. And so they can respect it because it's a situation where they're both gonna win. I'm showing you how to communicate better to him, and he in turn is learning how to communicate better to you. And sometimes we have to be the ones to check ourselves. That's when I say own your ish. How am I talking to him that I'm getting this kind of response? Let me take ownership of how I'm showing up. Maybe I'm talking to him in a tone that's really, disrespectful. Maybe I'm doing all, my little body language and head, all that. And that's coming off, communicating something different, and he's on the fence. So those are things that I pretty much touch. And like I said, with the men, they realize that I'm in their corner. At the end of the day, I'm in my wife's corner, and I want both of them to win.
Who owns the ish first?
I own mine. So that means I tell my wives to own theirs first.
That's good.
Because the change you want to see is going to start with you. We can't wait.
Yes.
If you're sitting around waiting on your spouse to change, then get ready for things to be pretty much the same. If you're sitting around waiting for your spouse to change,
that's really powerful.
Just get ready for things to remain the same. So it takes, again, that maturity. Marriage will mature you or expose the immaturity in you. It takes the maturity to say, you know what? Let me start really seeing, okay, maybe it's my delivery. Maybe it's my body language. If he says something, maybe I'm looking at him crazy. See, we don't realize those things affect our relationship. It affects how we communicate and pretty much bond with our spouses, right? So when we start saying, you know what, let me try something different. Because if you want something different, you're going to have to do something different. And if I normally go off when I want to get my point across, maybe if I don't go off this time, I might get a different response. And then watch how he responds to you. Because again, I think our women are forgetting how powerful we are. We are truly powerful beings. We have the power of influence, but we also have the power of manipulation. But what kind of relationship do you want? Do you want to manipulate your man, or do you want to have the power of influence where he is being drawn closer to you and you're not repelling? He's not trying to get away from you, but he's trying to come closer because it's something about you that's mesmerizing him. That's tapping into that God-given, that skill, that God-given ability to be that wife, to be the head, to be the crown. An excellent wife is the crown of her husband. How can you do those things if you talking out the side of your neck and you pushing your man away? So that's it. That's it right there.
I have a question from a viewer. By the way, for those who are listening, you are free to WhatsApp your comments or your questions to the number 201-503-6731. That's 201-503-6731. 6731. Those on YouTube, please remember to drop your questions below. This question from a viewer says, how do we support men who are becoming their best selves and it's painful for the wife because she's getting hurt?
So he's becoming his best self and you're getting hurt in the process?
Yes.
Interesting. So I guess my question would be, why, if he's becoming a better version of himself, how is that hurting her? I guess I need a little bit more specifics, like what's actually happening? Because if he's growing and becoming better, why would that hurt you? Would that be putting you in a position where there's a mirror, like, well, maybe I need to be stepping up a little bit more? Because sometimes that happens. Sometimes we'll see our spouse flourishing or growing, and then we're remaining stagnant. And that can be an opportunity for you to say, well, you know what, let me kind of see, let me ask some questions. Let me kind of study him and see what's making him become this better version. And maybe I can be on the same path with him, because you should be growing together. You can either grow together or grow apart. So I guess I'm not really understanding. I can see if he was not becoming a better version and it was hurting her, but why is it hurting her and he's becoming better? Because at the end of the day, we want better. We want to be happier. We want more of the good. But sometimes we got to go through that bad, or not necessarily bad, I'll say those different seasons of marriage. You know, we had those very nice spring, summer seasons, and then we had them cold fall seasons. So sometimes we have to go through that in order to grow. And we don't like that feeling, because it's not a pleasant feeling. But at the end of the day, it's the results that you're going to get. It's the growth. It's the stretch that you're definitely going to get in your relationship.
How do we differentiate from being a influential wife versus a manipulating wife?
Good. So the married woman manipulates. Let's go ahead and define that. And the wife influences. Manipulation basically means you're doing things to so if you manipulate, it's like basically at the end of the day, I want what I want because I want it. It's sort of like coming from a position of selfishness. Influence is basically, I want what's best for you. So I'm not going to try to make you change. I'm going to be the change. I'm going to be the example. I'm going to show you, how to treat me, because a lot of times we don't realize we got to teach people how to treat us, including your spouse. So you show them by how you show up. So if you, for example, want something you like, I sure wish, for example, I used to do this a lot, being sarcastic. I still can be a little sarcastic and I'm working on it, but I've gotten so much better.
You and me both.
Okay, that was one of those areas where it was like, look, LB, you got to get that together. But sarcasm is a way of manipulation, or, always playing victim, or making it all about, always pointing the finger. That's manipulation. Like, oh my goodness, always, pretty much stepping outside of your power. I feel both of them are very powerful positions to play, but the power, the real God-given power, is in the influence. It's in the transformation. It's in the change that you start to see. You realize, like, wait a minute, I started speaking life to my man and he started changing for the better. I had something to do with that. Like, that makes you feel good about yourself, instead of maybe trying to make him change by talking down to him. Like, you'll never be this. You're always doing this, or you're never this, speaking those negative seeds into his life instead of speaking powerful growth, life-giving seeds into his life. So that's the difference between manipulation and influence.
Yes, I have another question here I want to ask you, and it's kind of the flip to what I just asked you about the woman.
Okay.
Is there a case where a man manipulates a woman into subjection? Is he influencing? Let me just finish.
Okay.
Is he influencing her to be the wife he wants, or is he manipulating same?
Can you say that first part again? Because I think the answer is already in the question.
Well, the question was, is the man manipulating his wife into can the man manipulate his wife into subjection? Is it a case where he's influencing her to be the wife he wants her to be, or is it a case where he is a manipulator?
Subjection. Let's go ahead and start by defining that. Now, are you saying basically for your man to do everything he wants you to do? Putting you in position of submission, or putting you in position of like, your place? That, to me, in my case, no, that's manipulation. See, he needs to be tapping into influence as well. Manipulation, you can feel the energy. Manipulation is negative. It feels forced. It's not coming from a place of love. It's not coming from a place of real concern. Like, I really want what's best for you. And if you're getting that kind of energy from your wife or your husband, that needs to be addressed. Let's talk about this thing, baby, because this ain't right. That's first. If it's influence, he too now, like I tell my wives, step into the position of being an example. Own your ish and show up the way you want her to be to receive you. So as your best self. So how you talk to her, how you ask her to do things, being considerate. If she's been at home all day with the kids, then what can I do to lighten her load? How can I be a better husband for her? And that's pretty much what both parties should be doing in your relationship. How can I be better for myself? How can I be better for my partner? And if both of y'all are doing that, then both of y'all are in a position to win.
That is so powerful. I could talk to you all night, girl.
You too, lady Misty.
Talk to you all night. I know we're wrapping up this segment, but could you tell our listeners where to find you? How could we get in touch with you and get all of this awesomeness that you're giving us tonight?
Thank you so much for having me. I've enjoyed the conversation. You can find me on Instagram at The Wife Coach. Make sure you grab a copy of my new workbook. It's called 7 Signs You're a Married Woman, Not a Wife. So if I have any wives or wives to be on here who want to know, I'm putting you to work. You got to do your work.
I need to get to work.
Is an assignment, all right? So make sure you follow me on Instagram. All of the links are inside of my bio.
All right. Thank you so much, Lady LB. It's been a pleasure talking to you tonight.
You too.
We will know how to own our ish. That's what I got. That's a powerful statement. I'm gonna have to go now and reflect on my ish.
That's it.
Yeah,
I
already made a tick beside, being sarcastic. I've been told I'm famous for that, so I'm owning that ish publicly tonight. I'm owning that ish public tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for talking to us. Wow, that was so powerful. Thank you, Lady LB, for talking to us tonight. We're going for another quick break. I know you may need a breather. That was a lot to take in. We're going for a break, and when we come back, we jump right into life moments. You're listening to Let's Talk Relationships.
Yumi Digital Inc. We create and distribute content across our media portfolio, offering integrated marketing, media and business services to customers and advertisers, including digital solutions, performance, and advertising opportunities. Our brands are committed to inspiring and empowering families. Go to yumidigitalinc.com for more information on products and services. mycoachministry.com, transforming lives through mindfulness education, success coaching, and spiritual awareness conversations. Go to mycoachministry.com for more information on Mindfulness in Ministry Masterclass, success coaching, and more. AccessBusinessTree.com, an empowerment tool to help business pros build around their ministry.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you.
Invite your friends and family, your mommy Nims, your daddy Nims, niece, aunts, uncles, nephews, even your enemies to listen to You Me Radio. We're hot.
Today's quote by Napoleon Hill: every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. You're listening to You Me Radio. Live on purpose.
Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to You Me Radio and the program Let's Talk Relationship. Remember to get the app, the You Me Radio app, from your Google Play stores or your Apple stores. I am your host tonight, Lady Misty. And just in case you're missing that strong voice that's always with me, DJ KTE is not with me tonight and he is surely missed. But I have all of you keeping me company. A big shout out to all those who are listening live on Yumi Radio and those joining us on YouTube Live. We are moving straight into our segment Life Moments, and tonight we're talking to Mr. Clive White. Mr. White is a musician. He is a native of the beautiful parish of Jamaica, and he now resides in the Turks and Caicos, and he is here with me tonight. Good night, Clive. How are you?
Good night. I am doing extremely well.
How is it
Thanks
over
for
there
having
in
me.
how is it over there in the Turks?
Actually, it's just like Jamaica, to be
It's
honest
just
with you.
I
It's just
hope it did
another
not rain.
island.
I hope it did not rain as bad as it did
Oh, well.
today. I thought I was gonna be flooded out.
No, I don't think so. Just a little. It wasn't much today.
All right. So, guys, as I said before, Clive is a musician and he is the CEO of Positive Vibration Steel Band. Now, let's talk a little bit about music first. How did you get into being a steel pan player?
Wow. All right. So honestly, I started playing steel pan in high school. But before that, I was a part of the school choir because I like singing before. And then one day I heard this instrument. As a matter of fact, I started doing some keyboard classes at first because I fell in love with the keyboard. But then one day I was at lunch and I heard this music coming from the music department. I wasn't sure what instrument it was, but all I know is it captured me and I went straight to the music room. And then from that day is when I actually fell in love with steel drum and started playing. So that's actually how I get into it. I realize it's a gift, a matter of fact, you know?
And I've heard you playing and I know you have a gift. And I know that this band has gone places. One of the life moments is that you won, what's it called now? World champion?
You're right. So it's the instrumental grand champions of the world. So it was in 2016 that we
Of
actually...
the entire world, not only a
That's
little
right.
part of it, the entire world.
Exactly. So we actually went to
Wow.
Los Angeles. it's a competition with more than 60 countries participating and more than 5,000 contestants. So it wasn't easy for us, but we put in a lot of work, and that's how we actually get a good result. So we came back as the 2016 instrumental grand champions of the world.
Listen, just hearing of the world, just like, wow. So congratulations
Thank you.
again. And big up to Jamaica. We are always on top in certain things.
Oh, yes. 100%.
So I know with your music and with your brand going all over the world, and with your band traveling with you, it took you to the island of Turks and Caicos. So how has that transition been, moving from one island to another?
To be honest with you, I mean, as a musician, it will always be a musician's dream to travel the world performing. So, I mean, it's a wonderful experience for us. I know, I mean, outside of that, being away from your family isn't easy, but you know it is. You have to put in some work, you have to make some sacrifices so that one day, for sure, you will all be together in a positive way, you know? So it's all about making way, preparing yourself for a better future. So therefore, it's just one of those sacrifices that we have to make. But to be honest with you, outside of missing the family, it's actually fun. I mean, since we got here, we actually grow. I mean, we improve when it comes down to the music and also in other areas.
All right. How is family support with your music?
That's the greatest thing about it. When you have a wife who loves what you do and she gives me all the support, and that's the greatest thing. She's always there for me. And then, I mean, the other day she sent me a video where my son, he's not even 3. And he went on YouTube. He went on YouTube by himself and found a video of me performing. And it's like, Daddy dancing. Look at Daddy, man. And I mean, it feels so good to know that he's also a lover of music. And I mean, he would beat everything that he gets, you know? I mean, you give him toys, he would beat them. So, I mean, it's a wonderful thing to see that even my son is following in my footsteps.
That is awesome. That is a beautiful moment. I can just imagine. So being on the island of Turks, what's the reception like there with the guests, and how they receive the music? I know their music is not Jamaican music. I know there's no other music in the world like Jamaican music, and there's no other vibes than positive vibration vibes.
You're so right.
What's the reception like?
All right, so on this island, the music is called the rake and scrape. So actually their national instrument is a saw. You know that handsaw that we used to cut wood? That's what they use. So they use I think it's a fork to actually play it. So that's how they came up with the rake and scrape. It's since I actually got here, I know about rake and scrape. It's a wonderful music. Outside of that, the guest art for us entertainers, positive vibrations. We're from Jamaica, but we do other genres. So it's not just about the reggae and other genres. I mean, we do Latin, jazz, soca, rake and scrape, whatever it is, we play. So that's what we are about. Our guests here actually, trust me, they love the band. They love the band. I mean, a lot of guests actually return just to see positive vibrations. Some of them would message us before they come. Will you guys still be in the Turks and Caicos Island? And if not, then we're not coming. And it's that kind of thing. So, I mean, it's really nice when you go on the website, you'll realize that a lot of guests always have something positive to say about positive vibrations. And that's a wonderful feeling. TripAdvisor, oh my God. Positive vibrations every single day, something positive you can find. about the band. So it's a wonderful feeling.
Yes. I know there are a lot of highs when it comes onto music, but unfortunately, with the event of COVID-19, I know that has impacted the music industry in a tremendous way. Is there a moment in your life that made you question your decision to make music your number one? Was there
No,
any that time?
no, never. I mean,
Never.
all right, when you think about it, like it's not just musicians who are having a challenge at this time.
Mm-hmm.
It's you could put it like 80% of
True.
persons. It doesn't really matter, like for example, what job you do, but you will find out that everybody is actually having a challenge where that is concerned.
Yes.
So it haven't at no point I rethink of why is it that I actually chose music. I didn't know the greatest thing about it. In every
Mm-hmm.
situation you can find good. Because since COVID started, I actually
Mm-hmm.
learned to play a new instrument, which is
Ah, that's
saxophone.
interesting.
Yeah, and it's actually electrical. It's how would you put it now? It's not the regular saxophone, right?
Okay.
It's actually called an aerophone, but because I'm
Okay.
trying to find
Okay.
a
Yeah,
new
I know
how
that
you
instrument.
right. So it's a wonderful instrument, and I use my time. I spend my time wisely, so I dedicated some time to it, and that's how I actually learned to play a new instrument, which is why I can say, even though this is a time that is challenging to all of us, at least I can say that as a musician, I find something positive within this time. And also, we're actually making beats now. We're planning to put out a lot of songs. Just last night, we released a song as well from the group, which is our first single. It's our first original, and so
Mm-hmm.
far it's really going
Wow.
places. A lot of people is saying positive about it and so on and so forth. And we have a lot more coming.
Congratulations
Thank you.
for putting out your new single. So, all right, take me back to 2016.
Right.
So you're on stage with over 5,000 contestants, right? Over
Right.
5,000.
Yeah.
What was that feeling like when they said positive vibrations? You're on top. You're the winner.
Trust
Did,
me,
did you check your hearing?
honestly, we were all speechless. I mean, it it wasn't an easy competition, because just
Mhm.
imagine talents from across the world. I mean, persons are so good at what they do. And for us, it's all about God, because whatever we do, we put God at the front. And
Amen.
even going to Los Angeles, it wasn't easy for us.
Yeah,
We
what was
actually
the
made
preparation like?
we made a lot of sacrifices. We tried to get sponsorship. We didn't get any. But we
Wow.
decided that, you know what? It doesn't matter whether or not we get sponsorship, we will be going. So what we did whenever we work, we all put that money aside and say, you know what? We'll eat some tin mackerel and some white rice and whatever, so that at the end of the day, we can go and represent our island, represent our band, and return home with something good. And that's what we did.
What about the competition? Was it intimidating? Were you guys of confident all the way through? Were there any moments where like, oh my God, what am I doing here? When you hear all the different musicians coming on stage and doing their thing, what was that like?
Well, for us, we didn't have that kind of challenge. I mean, it will sound weird, but because we're playing such a unique instrument, we didn't
Hmm.
have any other steel band that we have to think twice, say, I want the
Ah,
hit,
so that
and
was
so
an
on and so forth.
advantage.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, we, as a steel band, I mean, the regular steel band, the traditional one, they actually just stand and play. But for us, we perform. So we dance and we have a lot of choreography that we actually put towards our instrumental. So it was totally different. And then with the whole competition, you will be judged against dancers, singers, other instrumentalists, and so on and so forth. But instrumental wise, we didn't see anybody that we could say, all right, this one will be on top. We always just positive about everything. And also, during the night when everybody else is maybe getting some rest, we would be there practicing. So our aim was to go there and return home as a winner, and that's what we did. You just have to believe in yourself, you know?
You know, this should have been one of my questions that I should have asked it way up the top there. How did you come up with the name Positive Vibration?
Wow. You know what? It was an inspiration from God himself. And I mean, I'll tell you about it. It was so easy. So I actually got myself a pan, a steel drum, and I went to this painter and I asked him to, he's an artist, so I asked him to draw, you know, a lion face and just use one of Bob Marley's quote on it. That's all I said to him.
Right.
And when he did everything and showed me the design, he added on it Positive Vibrations. However, when I started working at Royalton as an entertainment coordinator, persons actually, instead of saying Clive, they actually started calling me Positive Vibrations. I mean, even by myself, because I started by myself. And they would be like, hey, Positive Vibrations, even the guests, because it's on the pan. And honestly, it was very small. But then everybody started calling me Positive Vibrations. So when I actually decided to get some other persons with me, which, you know, Rhyme is there as a foundation member, and he's like a brother to me. So we started. And when we started out, we say, you know what, we're definitely going to keep this name, the Positive Vibrations. So all we did is actually spell it actually different, P-O-Z instead of P-O-S. And for the vibration, instead of V-I, we spell it V-Y and use a Z at the end instead of a S. And I mean, everywhere I go, persons are actually crazy about the name Positive Vibrations. And it actually worked because, I mean, our members are actually positive people. I can tell it within performance or off stage, whatever it is, we always try our best to be positive persons.
That's right. You know, I know you are a family man, an avid family man, and you know, you speak so highly of your family and the support. You know, to you now, I'm asking you this question. What has it been like, you know, being away from your family? And, you know, has that been your biggest sacrifice? And, you know, how do you guys make it work? I know with your son being, you know, so young, he's not yet 3, you know, so, you know, tell us how you do that. You know, what's it like being away from them in the physical space?
It's not easy. And as I said, he's not yet 3, but he behave as if he's 5 and 6.
Don't they all? Don't they all?
But back to family, it's not easy. And of course, I would say it is the biggest sacrifice that I had to make. It wasn't an easy decision to actually leave my family to be here in the Turks and Caicos Islands. But as I said before, this is all because of at the end of the day, you're trying to pave that way for both yourself and your family. So the greatest thing about it is that my wife, she's also into entertainment. So she understands the lifestyle of a musician and also the lifestyle of, once you're into entertainment, that these are some of the sacrifices that you will have to make. It's not easy, but I mean, we always encourage each other. So this won't be for long, and this is the next step, and leave it to God. God knows best. So we always have to find a positive in whatever we do.
Awesome.
So we always motivate ourselves. That's it, you know?
And that is key in having any relationship like that, especially in a time like this. So tell us about your band members. Who are they? You know, introduce them to us.
All right.
Mention
So
them.
we have the man Rhyme, of course, everybody knows. He's the Razor, and he's the one who is also the artist of this new single that we actually put out yesterday. And
Great.
he's actually rapping. I mean, a lot of persons are actually surprised of him. So he's doing a very good job. He's also the drummer of the band.
Mm,
Trust me.
okay.
You know it when Rhyme is on stage, it's a total different personality. We also have the man Everall, and since he got here as well, he have improved himself. He usually back home. He usually plays steel drum, and he's a percussionist, play congas. And when he got here, he actually improved and become a DJ as well. So
Wow.
he's doing a very good job where that is concerned. We also have Romain. He's a keyboard player, and he also plays the bass. We have the man Emilio, otherwise known as Milo. Yeah. And that's about the team that is here in Turks and Caicos. However, back home, I have a lot of members here that I don't even know as well. Because since
Oh man.
since I left, I haven't met them personally, right?
Okay.
Since I left, sorry, we have actually gotten about 4 or 5 new members, but we also have
So it's like a
Christoph.
franchise. So you have a Jamaican positive vibrations
Right,
working out here, and you
and
have an international positive. I get you.
that's right. But of course, definitely one day everybody will be all over the world. You know, that's our aim. I mean, just like our slogan, positive vibrations heal the nation. You know, so that's our aim. Whatever we do, we just want to keep it positive.
And you have improved yourself too, because you're playing new instruments, and I hear you singing.
Sing? Oh, I try.
You try. Oh my, music and so on. Here and see exactly what you do. So we are wrapping up, but what advice would you give to a musician right now who maybe feeling so down, struggling to come to terms with what is happening, wanting to give up on the music business? What advice would you give to that musician now, whether they're upcoming or they have been in the business a while?
Well, the first thing I can tell any musician, don't give up on your dreams. If your dream is to become a musician, keep holding on to it. In every bad situation, there's something positive that will be coming right after. I mean, God is real, and I'm sure He won't leave us or forsake us. So at the end of the day, we just have to leave everything in the hands of God. During your spare time now, I mean, one of the way I look at it is the world stop for us to improve ourselves. So that when it restarts,
That's
right?
powerful.
Exactly. When it restarts, we're at a level that we wasn't before. So at the end of the day, during this slow time, whatever is happening, put God first, practice, keep it positive, and leave everything in the hands of God. And all of
Amen.
us know God doesn't fail. So why worry when we can pray?
Well said. Where can we find positive vibrations? Tell us the platforms we can find to check out your music, check out the new music you have going on now. How can we get in contact with you?
Okay, so of course, we're on YouTube. And we're telling you guys, go over to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. This is just the beginning. We have a lot more coming, and you don't want to miss it. So make sure you go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, like, and share. Tell some people about us. Leave a positive comment as well. Also on on Facebook and Instagram, you just need to go there, type in Positive Vibrations. It's spelled Pozitive. Vibrations is Vybrations. And you will find us there. Follow us on follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Make sure you like and you share. Also, you can contact us Jamaica, telephone number 876-885-4669. All right, so that's 876-885-4669. And if you want to reach me in the Turks and Caicos Island, you can contact me at 649-346-8545. And our email address is positivevibrations@yahoo.com.
Thank you so much, Clive. It was a pleasure talking to you tonight. And I wish you and the Positive Vibrations more positivity.
Thank you so much.
All the best. It was a pleasure talking to you. Folks, that was Clive White from Positive Vibrations. Wow, guys, what a night. You know, I cannot leave without giving you my relationship tips. So for those of you who are listening, the relationship tip tonight simply states, love your partner as much as you love yourself. Love your partner as much as you love yourself. So if you have much love for yourself, you're going to be loving your partner just the same. Thank you so much to Lady LB that came through tonight. We had such an engaging conversation. Thank you to Marsha J and to Phil Roy from Dr. Phil's Entertainment for joining me in the Hot Topic segment. We want to thank the producers, to my listeners, my viewers. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for keeping my company tonight. This has been Let's Talk Relationships. I trust you enjoyed yourself as much as I did. Please continue to listening to You, Me Radio. This has been Let's Talk Relationships. Good night.
We gonna have a celebration. Hi, this is Dale Brown from Dale Brown and Truth, and you're listening to You Me Radio. Positive entertainment 24/7.
Invite your friends and family, your mama Nims, your daddy Nims, niece, aunts, uncles, nephews, even your enemies to listen to You Me Radio. We're hot.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard, so you don't need to start foraging wild berries.
I was skeptical, but these are actually pretty good.
You don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
Executive producer Keith Merritt, producers Marsha J, hosts DJ KTE and Lady Misty, associate producer Rochelle Smith Haslam and Delrose Delgado. Our sponsors are YouMe Digital Inc. We create and distribute content across our media portfolio, offering integrated marketing, media and business services to customers and advertisers, including digital solutions, performance, and advertising opportunities. Our brands are committed to inspiring and empowering families. Go to youmedigital.inc.com for more information on products and services. mycoachministry.com, transforming lives through mindfulness education, success coaching, and spiritual awareness conversations. Go to mycoachministry.com for more information on Mindfulness in Ministry Masterclass, success coaching, and more.
accessbusinesstree.com, an empowerment tool to help business pros build around their ministry. And Shop and Own. Shop and Travel Business is a one-stop shop for brand builders and influencers seeking to own the brand they're building while securing the right partnerships and collaborators to monetize their work. Sign up today and get exclusive deals, discounts, and offers from our partners. Sign up at umiradio.com. Follow us at Let's Talk Relationships Show and via WhatsApp group LTR Exclusive Offers. Contact us at 201-503-6731. All the information we just shared, as well as contact details for our guests, can be found in the description bar. Don't forget to subscribe, click the notification bell for notifications, and comment. We want to hear from you. Tell us what topics you want us to talk about on our next episode.